Hello everyone, welcome to the online course on non-conventional machining or advanced machining processes. Today we are going to discuss on electrochemical machining process. So as the name suggests, it is electrical type non-traditional machining process, and this electrochemical machining process works on the principle of Faraday's law of electrolysis. So all of us, we all know that this electroplating operation where atom by atom some metal is deposited on a electrical conductive material. So this ECM process is a reverse of electroplating operation. So here metal is removed from the anode or from the workpiece atom by atom. So this process is very useful in industries. So in many industries like electro nuclear industries, aerospace industries, they use this process for machining of very high strength temperature resistant material, and also this process useful for machining of very complex surfaces. So you have to generate a tool which is prototype of the your workpiece. That means a tool shape, actually it is a replica of the workpiece to be made on the workpiece surface. So in ECM process, there is a nowhere out of this tool. Like in EDM process, there is a wear out of the tool. But in ECM process, there is no wear out of the tool. Okay. So like in EDM process, the kind of relative electrode wear rate, that things are not in this ECM process. So now we shall discuss how this electrochemical process works. So that working principle of this electrochemical process now I will explain. So you can see here I have shown the in diagram. This is a circuit where there is a DC battery is attached here. So this is the cathode and this is the anode here. So here electrical energy is transported through in metals. It is transported to through by conductive electrical conduction by conduction of electrical charges. But in salt solution, it is electrical energy is transported through the migration of the ions. So in electrolytic cell, DC battery sends electrical current through the molten NaCl salt. So here this molten NaCl salt is there. So it is connected through a DC battery. So here left hand side, this is a cathode, and right hand side, this is the anode there here. So now NaCl salt is there inside this container, and this current is flowing because of it is connected to the this DC battery. So now electrons from this DC power supply, it will come to the cathode, and then this sodium plus ion, so this cautions, actually it will attract to the cathode, and it will be reduced here at the cathode. So it will become sodium. Okay, here the reaction I have shown, it will become sodium and it will be deposited on the this cathode, and then chlorine ion present in the chlorine, that is negative ion, so ions which is present here in the solution, so it will come to the anode here, and it will release one electron, and then this electron will come to this battery, and again through this battery this electron will be pumped to the cathode, and now this electrical circuit, actually it will continues. Okay, so now you can see here this is the equation. So sodium plus, it takes that electron here, and this is a reduced here. This is a reduced here at the cathode, and it will become sodium metal. It will become sodium metal atom, and it will be deposited at the cathode. And chlorine ion, that is negative ion, it will be attracted towards the anode here, and it will release one electron, and it will generate this chlorine gas. Okay, all the steps I have given here also. Okay, it will generate chlorine gas. So in electrolytic cell, DC battery sends electrical current through the molten and sodium chloride salt. So electrons from the batteries enters enter melt at the cathode and leaves melt at the anode, returning to the battery. So like this total current actually continues. This power supply continues through this electrolyte. Sodium plus from the salt combine with the electrons at the cathode and produce sodium metal, which accumulates at the cathode, and sodium plus, which is reduced here. So reduction operation means addition of the electrons at the cathode, so it is reduced here in this cathode side. Sodium plus, it is reduced here at cathode, and chlorine is, it migrates toward the anode, and it is oxidized. Oxidized means electrons is released to the cathode and to become the chlorine gas. So for getting this sustained flow of current and to avoid accumulation of the ions at the electrode, reactions must keep on occurring at the electrode to maintain the electrical neutrality. Correct. So this battery, DC battery should supply power, and so it will generate the sustained flow of current, and it will avoid accumulation of the ions at the electrode. So this external circuit feeds the electrons into the medium at the cathode, that is electrons, that is DC power here, and these electrons are consumed at the cathode by the cations. Here it is sodium plus ion, since they migrate to the cathode, and electrons are released by negative ions. Here you can see, and that is chlorine ions or medium that at the anode. So like this reaction continues. So this is the typical electrolysis process for sodium chloride solution. Okay, now in electrochemical machining process, this electrolysis like electroplating, electroforming, and electropolishing, these all are actually electrolysis process. So this ECM process, electrochemical machining process, material removal by chemical resolution, dissolution, electrochemical dissolution. So or ionic dissolution occur, and this process, it was known long back in 1780 AD. Here I have mentioned. So it is sometime it is called as contactless electrochemical forming process, because there is a tool actually does not touch to the workpiece surface. So this cathode or tool here, it does not touch to the workpiece surface, so that it is called contactless process and forming process, because this workpiece actually takes the shape of the work shape of the tool. Okay, so whatever shape of the workpiece you want to generate, so you have to make the prototype into the that tool, so that this shape of the tool will be made into the workpiece surface, correct? So electrical energy is used to produce the chemical reaction, and it works on the Faraday's law of electrolysis. So here electrical energy is used to produce the chemical reaction here in the electrolytic light. So here small DC potential, that is 5 to 25 volt is applied, but here current density is very high, because in electrochemical machining process it depends on the its main property. Main thing is that you have to apply huge amount of current density. So material removal rate mostly depend on the current density here for electrochemical machining process. So small DC potential, that is 5 to 25 volt, is applied across the two electrodes, and these two electrodes actually cathode and anode. It is immersed in the electrolyte, into the electrolyte. So here in this figure you can see this is a tool here. This is a tool here. It is the cathode. So this feed is given to the cathode vertically in the downward direction, and material is removed from the workpiece, which is anode here. So it is connected to the positive terminal, and cathode is connected to the negative terminal. Here you can see 5 to 20 volt potential is applied. So flow of electron here. So this is the flow of electron here in this direction, you can see. So transfer of electron between the ions and electrodes. So whatever electrons are supplied, so these electrons from the DC battery, okay, this transport of electron between the ions and electrodes completes the electrical this circuit. So here you can see this is the solution, water solution. So whatever electron is applied from the power supply, DC power supply, so these electrons actually react with the hydrogen, means H2O or water molecule, and generate hydrogen gas at the cathode, and also it generates hydroxide ion in the electrolyte. So you can see here whatever electrons is flowing to the cathode, it reacts with the water molecule and it generates hydrogen gas. So hydrogen gas is evolved at the cathode here, and at the same time hydroxyl ions also generate at the electrolyte. So at the same time whatever these metals are there, metal ion break loose from the anode, or dissociated from the anode, and after releasing electrons to the anode it comes to the electrolyte. So you can see here, you can see if it is iron, the workpiece material, so workpiece material is iron. So here, so this Fe2 plus Fe2 plus, actually this iron molecule atom, actually it will release the electrons to the anode, and it will come as a ferrous ion Fe2 plus here. Okay, so this second equation Fe2 plus, and this Fe2 plus, it will react with the hydroxyl molecule present in the electrolyte, and you will it will generate ferrous hydroxide. So this ferrous hydroxide, it is insoluble in water, and sometimes this ferrous hydroxide also it reacts with the water molecule. It will react with the water molecule and oxygen present in the electrolyte, and it will become ferric hydroxide. Ferric hydroxide, you can see this reaction also. So this ferrous hydroxide with water molecule and oxygen, it will react, and sometime it will become hydroxide here also, because iron has two valency, 2 and 3, so it may generate ferrous hydroxide or it may generate ferric hydroxide also. So this hydroxide molecule here, these are insoluble and it will precipitate there in the interelectrode gap. So you have to flow electrolyte with the high pressure and high velocity, so that whatever this debris particles are there, whatever this hydroxide ions, whatever hydroxide compounds are generated on the metal hydroxide are generated, it has to be actually thrown out from the this interelectrode gap. Also it will throw out the hydrogen gas which is generated at the interelectrode gap at the cathode side, so that fixed flow of electron from the cathode should come, and from the anode this electron will come back to the power supply. So this transfer of electrons between the ions and the electrodes completes the electric circuit here. So metal detached atom by atom from the anode surface and appears in the electrolyte as a positive ions, and detached metal appears as a precipitated solid of metal hydroxide. Here you can see M. These are the metal ions. After releasing electron into anode, it comes into the electrolyte. So it is dissociated. This metallic ions are dissociated from the workpiece. So electrolyte flow velocity you have to maintain in between 20 to 30 meter per second. Also you have to flow with a relative flow rate that to be maintained in between 2 to 35 kg per centimeter, so that this whatever this hydrogen gas and hydroxyl metal hydroxide is generated, so it has to be removed from the this interelectrode gap. So this hydrogen are generated at the cathode, not only at the anode. So this hydrogen at gas bubbles are generated at the cathode. Okay, you can see in this diagram also I have shown. So application of DC, it results in the redox reaction. So reduction reaction occurs at the cathode and oxidation reaction occurs at the anode. So if you apply DC voltage, then only this redox reaction occurs, and if you apply only that AC current, then it will lead to the conduction only, because at the first half whatever the situation is there, so electrodes changes their polarity in the first half, and because there is a sinusoidal profile of the AC current, so electrodes changes their polarity very fast. So at the first half, this whatever electron polarity are there, at the second cycle electron polarity will change. So electrode reaction occurs in the first half, is reverse in the latter half cycle of the. Okay, so if you reduce the interelectrode gap between this interelectrode gap between the cathode and anode, so this is called interelectrode gap, we know that IEG. So if we reduce that IEG, that gap, then current density current flow will increase, because your if we decrease the gap, in that case it will increase the current flow. So if you reduce the that gap, then current flow increases. Okay, so whatever, so there uh, question will arise that uh, which types of the electrolyte we should use, and the supply of the uh, that electrolyte, it will remove the debris particles from that interelectrode gap. Okay, so supply of electrons, that should be at 2 to 20, 35 kg per centimeter square pressure, which leads the electrolyte flow, as well as velocity of flow will be 20 to 30 meter per second. So what the question next arises, that what kind of electrodes are used? You can use acidic electrolyte, you can use the basic salt dissolved in the water, that can be used. Then acid or basic salt dissolved in the water, as you can use as a electrolyte. So what are the different functions of electrolytes are there, no? That function is, it will you can see the function of electrolyte is to remove the debris from the interlude gap for the fresh machining to take place, for current to flow through the interlude gap. That's also function. Also, whatever the temperature is generated in between the interlude gap, that temperature or the heat is actually removed from the interlude gap by using the electrolyte. Whatever the heat is generated, that much heat is actually removed from the interlude gap, so dilute it will dilute reaction product in between that inter-electro gap. Also, it removes the debris from the inter-electro gap, as well as dissipate heat at faster rate. Okay, and also it limits the concentration of ions at the electrode surface. So whatever, if it is not electrolyte, if it is not flown, so there is a concentration of ion at the electrode surface, so it will increase. So as electrolyte is flown by doing all this action with flow of electron, your machining rate will also increase. So this electrolyte flow velocity, it is determined based upon the desired flow velocity of the electrolyte. Also inter electrode gap size of component being machined. Okay, and the whatever the properties, that electrolyte properties are there, like composition, concentration, pH value, temperature, concentration of foreign elements. Okay, so you have to control the electrolytic properties, electrolyte properties. So it's a composition, it's a concentration, it's a pH values, temperature, and the concentration of the foreign elements, whatever this metal hydroxide, you have to control that. So because temperature actually changes the electrical conductivity of the electrolyte, so machining rate will also change. If this concentration of the electrolyte increases, or whatever is vaporized, in that case conductivity of electric conductivity of electrolyte will increase. So in that case your machining rate will increase. So you want, if constant machining rate, uniform machining rate, so you have to change, you have to maintain concentration of the your electrolyte. Okay, then temperature of electrolyte also you have to maintain. So all these electrolyte properties, tool shapes are determined by the anode profile, and should be close to closely that should be closely controlled. So amount of hydroxide in the electrolyte confined by the continuous removal using the settling tank or the filters and the centrifugal pump. So using that you can remove the amount of hydroxide. Okay, that should be confined. So this whatever hydroxide metal hydroxides are generated, that has to be filtered out from the electrolyte. So concentration, composition, pH value of electrolyte solution, that should be controlled by adding the water and the salt solution. Okay, so concentration, composition and pH values of the solution, electrolyte solution, that should be controlled by adding water and the salt solution. Suppose this concentration changes, so you can change, you can remodify the concentration of this electrolyte by adding the salt or salt solution, or adding water based on the need. So temperature also governs electric property of the electrolyte, and that should be controlled within plus minus 1 degree Celsius by heating or the cooling electrolyte in the tank or the container. Okay, so to maintain the constant machining rate, you can see the spacing between the electrode should be maintained. Okay, spacing between electrode should be maintained, and cathode, so to maintain the spacing between these electrodes, so cathode is fed or is moved towards the anode at the same rate at which machining from the workpiece actually maintained. Okay, so spacing between the electrode should be maintained constant, cathode move toward the anode at the same rate at which work is being dissolved. Smaller interrelative gap, it results in the high current density. It will result in high material removal. So selection of electrolyte, it should be properly. That means electrolyte should be inexpensive, easily available, and commonly used electrolyte is the sodium chloride. Sodium chloride is the commonly used. So now you can see here. So this is a tool here, and this is the workpiece. So tool profile has to generate into the workpiece surface. Now you can see in this zone current density is high. Current density is high or maximum. So here also you can see current density will be maximum entire in this entire zone of the tool. So initially in this zone will be machined, and after that this zone will be machined. Okay, after that rest of portion will be machined. Okay, so after some time you will see that tool and this workpiece here. Okay, so this workpiece will take the shape of the tool, and which is to be generated into the workpiece. So after some time it will take the shape of the workpiece. The shape of the workpiece will be formed according to the shape of the tool which is used for this machining. So now this main controlling factor you see here, this is a current density and shape of the cathode or shape of the tool. Okay, these are the main controlling factors. There are two main controlling factors for the anode profile. Okay, so there are various operations can be done by this electrochemical machining process. There are so many things, so many machining operation can be done, like electrochemical boring, electrochemical broaching, electrochemical blazing, electrochemical drilling, electrochemical deburring, electrochemical die sinking is there, grinding is there, electrochemical honing, electrochemical machining, electrochemical milling, electrochemical micro machining, again that is advanced machining operation, electrochemical sewing, then turning is there, tempering is there, electrochemical wire cutting is there, electro steam drilling is there. So these all are the various machining operations that are based on the electrochemical dissolution of the anode. Okay, so this is about the working principle of electrochemical machining, and these are the references that I have referred. Okay, so thank you for watching this lecture. If you have not subscribed our YouTube channel, please subscribe it, and please press the bell icon, click on that bell icon to get the latest video. Thank you very much.
Hopefully you might have enjoyed the lecture. Then please do like the video and know your thoughts in comments. Please do share this video among your friends and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. After subscription you can press the bell icon to never miss the notification regarding our new videos. Thank you so much.